Hello students. Today we are going to back again starting from the first. The over or the much more weightage goes to the in the anatomy paper first to the upper limb. So a revision, the weightage for the upper limb is 2 marks, 7 questions or maybe 8 questions from anatomy paper first, and a 20 marks question is mandatory from upper extremity only, and question number 3 is exclusively from 5 marks question from upper limb only. Such a weightage of 20 plus 15 marks, so 55 marks weightage goes to the upper limb in all total if you excluded the other questions. Okay, now a fast revision of a 2 marks question, just a remind for you, a 2 marks questions from the upper limb. So starting from the osteological point of view, we'll start with some of the questions from the when we start the introduction. In the introduction of the upper limb, the basically 2 marks questions only. So first of all, what is the weak point of the clavicle? So weak point of the clavicle is the junction of the medial 2/3 and lateral 1/3 is the weak point of the clavicle, and where the clavicle gets fractured, that is the weak point of the clavicle. A question from the osteology second is from the scapula. Scapula, what is the attachment to the inferior angle of the scapula is the muscle latissimus dorsi is the main important. It is the muscle that is attached to the inferior angle of the scapula. What is attached to the coracoid process of the scapula? Origin of the bicep brachii and coracobrachialis at the tip of the coracoid process, and on a medial surface there is a insertion of the pectoralis minor muscle. Now, what is attached to the supraglenoid tubercle and infraglenoid tubercle? To the supraglenoid tubercle, there is the origin of the long head of the bicep brachii, and in the infraglenoid tubercle, there is the origin of the long head of the tricep. Now, what is attached to the medial border? What is attached to the medial border of the scapula? That is all the 8 digitations of the serratus anterior on a costal aspect. Then what is the attachment to the acromion? Acromion, there is a ligament of the capsular ligament of the acromioclavicular joint and the lateral fibers of the deltoid. These are the main important attachment. They may be asked as a 2 marks question from scapula. What is the clinical anatomy? What is winging of scapula? You know better what is winging of the scapula. In the winging of the scapula, the injury to the serratus anterior leads to the protrusion of the scapula. Backward protrusion, the scapula become more prominent to what you call as a winging of the scapula, in which the patient is unable to do the pushing movement. That is called as a winging of the scapula. Okay, so these are the more probable questions from scapula and clavicle. Now, coming to the humerus. Name the 3 nerves related to the humerus. So, the axillary nerve that winds the surgical neck of the humerus. A radial nerve passes through the radial groove or that spiral groove of the humerus, and third, which the nerve that passes behind the medial condyle of the humerus. These are the 3 nerves. Again revise: the axillary nerve, radial nerve and ulnar nerve. These are the 3 nerves which are directly in contact with the humerus. Now, which is the growing end of the humerus? This is only bone in which there is a lower end is the growing end of the upper end is the growing end of the humerus. Otherwise, in other bones, always the lower ends are the growing ends of the long bones. This is the only long bone that grows in upward direction. Okay. Now, what are the contents of the bicipital groove? in addition to this? This is very common question that is being asked. The bicipital groove is also called as the intertubercular sulcus, through which the tendon of the long head of the bicep brachii, a branch of the anterior circumflex humeral artery, and a sheath covering to them. These are the three contents of the bicipital groove. Bicipital groove. What is the attachment of the bicipital groove? Bicipital groove has a floor and lateral lip and medial lip. To the lateral lip, there is a insertion of the pectoralis major. In the floor of the bicipital groove, there is a insertion of the latissimus dorsi, and to the medial lip, there is a insertion of the teres major. Okay, these are the three muscles attached to the around the bicipital groove, or in the floor and lateral and medial lips of the bicipital groove. Name the rotatory cup muscles. Rotatory cup muscles or musculotendinous cup. There are four muscles. They are total four muscles. The muscles are, on a lesser tubercle, subscapularis, on a greater tubercle, and below and downward, there is a supraspinatus, infraspinatus, and teres minor. So togetherly, subscapularis, supraspinatus, infraspinatus, and teres minor. These are the four muscles of the rotatory cup. Or a question may be asked as what are rotatory cup muscles, or what name the tendons of the musculotendinous cup. So these are the four muscles in which there is no dislocation of the dislocation of the humerus is never above. That is the main important function of the tendons of the rotatory cuff muscles. Now name the pectoral muscles. In the pectoral muscles, the main important muscles are pectoralis major, pectoralis minor, and the most posterior muscle is the subscapularis. These are the three pectoral muscles. These are the three pectoral muscles. All of these first two, pectoralis major and minor, is supplied by nerve to the. They are supplied by pectoral nerve. They are supplied by pectoral nerve, and subscapularis is supplied by nerve to the subscapular. Nerve to the subscapularis. Okay. Now the lateral, the secondary centers of the clavicle. There are what are the peculiarities of the clavicle? There are 7 peculiarities of the clavicle. Clavicle is only horizontal long bone. It is subcutaneous. Then it has no medullary cavity. It develops in the form of a membrane. It develops in the form of a membrane. So then it has 2 primary centers for the development. These are the main important peculiarities of the clavicle. 7 peculiarities are there. As all of you know, we have many times repeated this thing, peculiarities of the clavicle. Now the regarding the humerus, there are 3 main questions. The 3 nerves related, muscles attached around the bicipital groove, and the rotatory cup muscles. Rotatory cup muscles. These are the 3 main questions. They are routinely asked from the humerus. Then what are the contents of the radial groove? The radial groove, through the radial groove. What is the clinical importance of the radial groove? For the to avoid injury to the radial nerve in the intramuscular injections, and through the radial groove, the radial nerve passes and a branch of the posterior circumflex humeral artery passes. These are the 2 important contents of the radial groove. Radial groove is also called as a spiral groove, or it is like a spiral. So these are the main the first of all the questions from the bones only. Then what is subluxation of the radius? You know, we come till to the radius. So radius, subluxation of the radius, when a sudden jerk in the hands of the children leads to the removal of the head of the radius from the annular ligament, and that leads to the dislocation of the head from the annular ligament, and that is called as a subluxation of the radius. Why ulna is called as a stabilizing bone of the forearm? During pronation and supination, the ulna remains as it. Only the lower end of the radius goes to the medial side. Ulna remains as it. Ulna is a stable bone of the forearm. That's why, and radius moves around the ulna. That's why ulna is called as a stabilizing bone of the forearm. Then, till the muscles attached to the lower end of the humerus, you know better, all the flexors flexors of the forehand gets originated from the humerus, and all the extensors get originated from the lateral condyle of the humerus, and flexors from the medial condyle of the humerus. Then what type of joint is the elbow joint? It is a synovial variety of the hinge. It opens only 180. What type of joint is the shoulder joint? It's very simple, ball and socket, synovial variety. Then what are the ligaments of the shoulder joint? Ligaments of the shoulder joint consist of the mainly capsular ligament, glenoidal labrum, and the glenohumeral ligament and coracohumeral ligament. These are the main important ligaments of the shoulder joint. Okay. Now the ligaments of the elbow joint: the capsular ligament, radial collateral ligament, ulnar collateral ligament. These are the ligaments of the elbow joint. Then what is the blood supply of the mammary gland? What is the blood supply of the mammary gland? The blood supply of the mammary gland is branches of the axillary artery. That is the thoracoacromial artery, superior thoracic artery, anterior circumflex humeral artery, posterior circumflex humeral artery. Then the branches of the axillary artery supplies to the mammary gland. Then what is the ligament of the what is the tubercles of the Montgomery? Around the nipple there is a dark area on which there are tubercles, that is called as the areola. There are small tubercles. These tubercles are called as the tubercles of the Montgomery. Then what is ligament of the Cooper? From the skin to the stroma there is one ligament. That ligament resists to dislocate the lactiferous duct from the mammary gland here and there. So it fits. So that is called as a ligament of Cooper. You know better, the breast is being divided into parenchyma and stroma. Parenchyma is the actual that lactiferous duct, actual milk producing that lobules, and to what structure that connect to these lobules to the other structure, that is ligament of the Cooper. Then the name the carpal bones. We are discussing only first of all the 2 marks probable questions from the bones only. The carpal bones are scaphoid, lunate, triquetral and pisiform in the proximal row. Then trapezium, trapezoid, capitate and hamate, they are in the distal row. There are total 8 carpal bones in the wrist or in the hand. 8 carpal bones, 5 metatarsal bones, and 14 phalangeal bones. They are the bones of in the hand. Now, name the branches. Name the branches of the axillary artery. Axillary artery consists of axillary artery has three parts. It is divided into three parts: superior thoracic artery. Then from the second part, two arteries: thoracoacromial artery and the lateral thoracic artery. And from the third part, subscapular artery, anterior circumflex humeral artery, and posterior one superior thoracic artery from first part. Then the thoracoacromial artery and lateral thoracic artery from the second part. Then the anterior circumflex humeral artery, posterior circumflex humeral artery, and subscapular artery. These are the branches of the axillary artery. Name the muscles in the anterior wall of the axilla. Anteriorly, in the axilla consists of mainly anterior wall consists of the pectoralis major, and the clavipectoral fascia is there, and pectoralis minor. Two muscles are there in the anterior wall. In the medial wall, there are upper four digitations of the serratus anterior, and to the lateral wall, there is it is formed by the upper part of the shaft of the humerus uvator, the lateral wall, and the coracobrachialis and short head of the bicep to the lateral wall. A question may be asked from the walls of the axilla. Posterior wall is very thick posteriorly. You can pick up your own posterior wall of the axilla, that there is a latissimus dorsi, one of the huge climbing muscle that is attached, that makes the posterior wall of the axilla. So anteriorly pectoralis major, minor, medially the upper four ribs and the upper four digitations of the serratus anterior, and laterally the upper end of the humerus, along with the insertion of the coracobrachialis and a tendon of a short head of the bicep. These are the main important muscles that makes the walls of the axilla. Again revise: anterior, posterior, lateral, and medially the muscles that makes the walls of the axilla. Name the contents of the axilla. Axilla consists of the main important content is the axillary artery, axillary vein and its tributaries, axillary artery and its branches, axillary vein and its tributaries. Then the that is brachial fluxuses, the nerves of the brachial fluxuses. Then 5 group of the lymph nodes. In addition to these, long thoracic and the intercostal, these are the small structures. The main important is the nerves of the brachial fluxuses, veins, that lymph nodes and branches of the axillary artery. A question may be asked: name the arteries. Name the artery that derives from the first part of the axillary artery. So write down superior thoracic artery. Name the artery derived from the second part of the axillary artery, lateral thoracic artery and thoracoacromial or acromiothoracic artery. From the third part, there are 3 arteries. The first one is the anterior circumflex, posterior circumflex humeral artery and subscapular artery. So these are the main important probable questions from the axilla. The axilla walls, its muscles and the contents of the axilla, and branches of the axillary artery. So then the main important questions from the brachial fluxuses. So name the nerves which derive from the lateral cord, lateral pectoral nerve, musculocutaneous nerve, and lateral root of the median nerve. Then the branches of the medial cord, they are the branches of the medial pectoral nerve, then the medial cutaneous nerve and medial cutaneous nerve of the forearm and ulnar nerve and medial root of the median nerve. These are the 5 branches derived from the medial cord. Branches derived from the posterior cord, there are 5 branches: upper subscapular nerve, lower subscapular nerve, axillary circumflex and the radial nerve. These are the branches. Now these are the 3 questions from the brachial fluxuses. Now name the nerves, branches derived from the trunk. There are only 2 branches derived from the trunk. There are no branches derived from the divisions. Keep in mind, there are only suprascapular nerve and the nerve to the subclavian. Then name 2 branches deriving from the root. Generally, students that forget to rememorize the branches derived from the roots. The first one is a nerve to the serratus anterior and the branches of the longus colli and scalenus muscles. These are the 2 branches derived directly from the root, directly from the trunks. There are no branches derived from the divisions of the brachial fluxuses. Then a clinical anatomy question may be asked: what is Ehr's paralysis? Injury to the upper trunk. Injury to the upper trunk is called as that Ehr's paralysis. The brachial fluxus is upper trunk, middle trunk and lower trunk. So upper trunk injury leads to the Ehr's paralysis, and injury to the lower trunk is called as a Klumplex paralysis. And we have already seen that winging of the scapula, that is injury to the muscles to the serratus anterior. Injury to the muscles injury to the serratus anterior leads to the that posterior protrusion of the that scapula is called as. Then one more question: what is scaphoid scapula? The concavity of the lateral border, medial border of the scapula. Generally it is vertical, but if it is concave, the medial border, that is called as a scaphoid scapula. Name what is attached, name the enumerate what is there below the inferior angle of the scapula. 8th rib is there on a surface marking of the body. So 8th rib is there below the inferior angle of the scapula. Name the nerves. And at the Ehr's point, there are 6 nerves in the Ehr's point. First is the nerve to the subclavius, then roots of the C5 and C6. 6 nerves meet at the Ehr's point. Then the suprascapular nerve and the anterior division and the posterior division of the upper trunk. These are the 6 nerves that meets at the Ehr's point. Various other questions may be asked: the policeman's hand, claw hand. Then the other questions that you have to write. Basically, this question is from the grouped in the 20 marks expected question. So almost we have discussed we have discussed the axilla, and in the back, as all of you know, surface marking on the back, there is a latissimus dorsi, the main important muscle, that is a trapezius and latissimus dorsi, that comes in the back. Main important muscles: levator scapulae, rhomboides major and minor. Question may be asked: name the muscles of the back. pectoris, trapezius, latissimus dorsi, rhomboides major and minor, and deeply there are a number of muscles in the deep muscles of the back that comes in the anatomy paper second also. So generally such a contra question is not asked as a 2 marks question. So now we'll move towards the scapular region. In the scapular region, the origin and insertion of the deltoid. Deltoid has 3 origins. Anterior fibers origin from the lateral end of the clavicle, lateral fibers origin from the acromion of the scapula, and posterior fibers origin from the lower lip of the spine of the scapula. All the 3 fibers comes together, merge together to form a single muscle called as the deltoid, and deltoid is inserted on the deltoid tuberosity of the humerus. What is nerve supply of the deltoid? Deltoid is supplied by axillary nerve. Name the muscle supplied by axillary nerve. Such a question may be asked. There are 2 muscles, they are supplied by the axillary nerve. One is the deltoid and another is the teres minor. 2 muscles. Then rotatory cup muscles we have already seen. Then name the contents of the quadrambular space. Axillary nerve and posterior circumflex humeral vessels. Name the contents of the upper triangular space consist of the circumflex scapular artery, then the suprascapular artery and deep branch of the transverse cervical artery. The lower triangular space consists of, it mainly consists of radial nerve, profunda brachii vessels. These are the main important contents of the lower triangular space. Then name the veins that drains the upper limb. Laterally, the cephalic vein, and medially the basilic vein. These are only 2 veins that drains the upper extremity. They join to each other in the cubital fossa by a median cubital vein, and both the veins lastly opens into the axillary vein. So these are the main 2 veins of the upper limb. So there are dermatomes and myotomes that supplies to the particular. What is dermatome? That is a particular nerve that supplies to the particular area of the skin is dermatome. And what is myotome? It is a group of muscles that is supplied by a nerve. Is called as a myotome. So dermatomes and myotomes. Name the 5 group of the in the breast. So first that group of lymph nodes that drains the breast leaf. The apical, supraclavicular, internal mammary, the central group, lateral axillary group, posterior axillary group, and the anterior axillary group. All of these 5 group of lymph nodes that drains the breast. This question 1 to 2 times is being asked. Name the group of lymph nodes. So again revise: supraclavicular, apical, central, anterior axillary, posterior axillary, lateral axillary, and internal mammary group of lymph nodes that drains the breast. Then the muscles in the anterior compartment of the arm, bicep brachii and coracobrachialis. Muscles in the posterior compartment of the arm is tricep only. What is origin, insertion and nerve supply of the bicep brachii muscle? The short head gets originated from the tip of the coracoid process and long head gets originated from the supraglenoid tubercle, and it is inserted on the radial tuberosity of the radius, and the axillary nerve, bicep brachii is supplied by musculocutaneous nerve. Name the muscles supplied by musculocutaneous nerve. One is the bicep brachii and another is the brachialis and coracobrachialis. These are the three muscles. They are supplied by the musculocutaneous nerve. Okay. Now, what is nerve supply of the tricep? Tricep has three heads, medial head and lateral head getting origin from the posterior surface of the humerus, and long head getting origin from the infraglenoid tubercle, and tricep is supplied by a radial nerve. So, name the muscles supplied by radial nerve. Tricep and all the extensors of the forearm, they are supplied by the this is tricep, and this one is the all the extensors. All the extensors are supplied by radial nerve. This is by the radial nerve above the level of the radial groove. This is below muscle supplied by radial nerve, and all the flexors of the hand are supplied by median nerve, except the flexor carpi ulnaris and medial head of the flexor digitorum profundus. These are supplied by ulnar nerve. Name the muscles supplied by ulnar nerve. The flexor carpi ulnaris only and medial head of the flexor digitorum profundus, and the muscles in the hand. Some muscles in the hand, they are supplied by ulnar nerve. Then the ligaments of the wrist joint. Okay, before to that, we'll see the cubital fossa. Boundaries of the cubital fossa: laterally bounded by the brachioradialis and medially bounded by the lateral border of the pronator teres. The base is formed. It is a triangular. The base is formed by the line joining the medial condyle and lateral condyle of the humerus. So that is base, and apex is formed by the meeting point of the brachioradialis and pronator teres. What is there in the roof of the cubital fossa? Skin, superficial fascia, deep fascia,